At exactly 7:34 p.m., after 23 years on death row, Marion Bowman took his final breath. But just before the lethal injection took effect, he spoke his last words. "I did not kill Kandee Martin." Was he telling the truth, or was justice served?
The capital punishment sentence of Marion Bowman Jr. was carried out tonight, pursuant to the order of the South Carolina Supreme Court and in accordance with state law. The execution began at 6:04 p.m. He was pronounced dead by a physician at 6:27 p.m. Bowman was sentenced to death for murder and arson in the February 16, 2001 death of 21-year-old Kandee Louise Martin.
Kandee Martin was more than just a name in a murder case. She was a daughter, a sister, and most importantly, a mother. She grew up in a small town in South Carolina, known for her bright smile and dreams of a better life. But as many small-town stories go, life wasn't always easy. As she entered adulthood, Kandee struggled. Money was tight, and with few opportunities around her, she found herself in a circle of people who lived on the edge. Addiction, risky choices, and bad luck brought her into the orbit of Marion Bowman and his cousin, James "Gap" Gadsden, in February 15, 2001. Kandee Martin was last seen alive at the Villa Apartments, a known hotspot for drug activity. Witnesses claimed she was there to buy drugs, as she had done before, but this time she never made it home. Hours later, a gas station camera recorded a man filling a gas can. Moments later, Kandee's car was found, engulfed in flames in a deserted area. Inside the trunk, her lifeless body was found shot multiple times before being set on fire. The fire was likely set to destroy evidence, but despite the attempt, investigators recovered bullet casings. The forensic team determined the shots were fired at close range, meaning Kandee likely knew her killer. The police immediately focused on one man, Marion Bowman Jr. A 20-year-old drug dealer known to police, Bowman was an easy suspect. He had a record, he knew Kandee, and some witnesses reported that earlier that day he had angrily declared, "That bitch be dead by dark." But was it just a threat? Or a promise? But did the police jump to conclusions? The timeline was messy, evidence wasn't airtight, but Bowman had a reputation, and that was enough. Bowman has always insisted that he is innocent. In his own words, he says that after seeing Kandee earlier in the day, she left with his cousin, Gap. When he saw Gap later that night, he was still driving her car. It was then, Bowman claims, that Gap casually admitted, "She's dead." But here's the problem. Gap never faced the same punishment. Despite being a suspect, his murder charges were dropped in exchange for testimony against Bowman, and he wasn't the only one to benefit from Bowman's conviction. The prosecution had a clear goal: secure a conviction, and that's exactly what they did. May 2002. Bowman's trial begins. The prosecution relies heavily on witness testimony. But here's the catch. Each key witness had something to gain. Felder, who claimed Bowman set the car on fire, was caught on camera filling a gas can. Yet he walked free. The jury never saw the footage. They never heard that another inmate heard Gap confess. They never knew that the gun allegedly linked to Bowman wasn't found until months later. Bowman was sentenced to death. But was it justice, or just another case of a rushed conviction? For 23 years, Bowman fought. Appeals were filed. Legal groups raised alarms about missing evidence. But nothing changed. Wrongful convictions happen more than we'd like to believe. Since 1973, over 190 people sentenced to death in the U.S. have been exonerated. Was Bowman another name on that list? But without a second chance. January 31st, 2025. Bowman was given his last meal, a seafood feast. Hours later, strapped to the gurney, he turned to the witnesses and said, "I did not kill Kandee Martin." Moments later, he was pronounced dead. Some say justice was served. Others believe Bowman died for a crime he didn't commit. The truth may never be known, but one thing remains: his final words. I did not kill Kandee Martin. Did South Carolina execute an innocent man? Let us know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dive true crime investigations. Stay curious. Stay safe.